Now, so from the information from the C13 NMR, that is regarding second information. So based on the multiplicity of every carbon signal, we can identify the number of protons attached with each carbon, or the number of CH3, CH2, CH carbon and carbon without hydrogen present in a molecule. Example, CH3, CH2, C double bond O, CH2, CHBr2, alpha alpha dibromo butanol. This is carbon A, this is carbon B, CH2 carbon is B, CH carbon is C, carbon without carbonyl carbon is D. So there are four carbons are non-equivalent: carbon A, carbon B, carbon C, carbon D. Now it's a C13 NMR spectrum. For A carbon, there are 3 hydrogens attached, hence it appears as quartet. A carbon appear as quartet. Now for B carbon, this attached with the 2 protons, according to n+1 rule, 1 + 2, it is triplet. So B carbon signal appear as a triplet. And C carbon is a CH carbon, so 1 + 1, it appear as doublet. C carbon appear as a doublet. Now carbon D has no hydrogen, therefore it appear as a singlet. Is it clear? Now this is C13 NMR spectrum according to second information. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 signals are there, so that indicated 4 carbons are present. 4 signals indicated 4 carbons may be present, and the multiplicity of each carbon. So the first carbon multiplicity is quartet. This indicated the first carbon is CH3. Now second signal multiplicity is triplet. It indicates the second carbon is CH2. Now third signal multiplicity is doublet. It indicated it may be CH carbon. Now the fourth signal is singlet, indicated this is the carbon without hydrogen. So based on the multiplicity, we can count or we can identify how many CH3, how many CH2, how many CH carbon and how many carbons without hydrogen. Is it clear? So this spectrum indicated there are 4 carbons present and 1 belongs to CH3, 1 CH2, 1 CH, 1 carbon without hydrogen. Let us discuss other example. Now you take CH3, CH2, OH, ethyl alcohol, A carbon, B carbon, so that there are 2 signals, one for CH3 carbon, that is A, one for CH2 carbon, that is B. This is the spectrum C13 NMR, CMR spectrum of ethyl alcohol, where there are 2 carbons. First carbon appear 2 carbons. How can we identify? 2 signals indicated 2 carbons. The first signal multiplicity is quartet. 2 carbons are there. First signal multiplicity is quartet, indicated the presence of CH3 group. Second signal multiplicity is triplet, indicated presence of CH2 group. So there are 2 carbons, one CH3 and another one will belongs to CH2 carbon. Is it clear? So in this way we can able to identify number of CH3, CH2 etc. carbons based on the multiplicity of each and every signal in the C13 NMR spectrum. So this is about second information. Now coming to third information. Coming to third information. Now, based on the delta value of each carbon, based on the delta value of each carbon, it is possible to identify hybridization of each carbon. How? We have a spectrum recorded for unknown molecule, so that we can able to predict the delta value on x-axis from the spectrum. Based on the delta value, we can able to identify hybridization of each and every carbon, because all sp3 carbons, signals are appear in between 0.0 to 200 ppm, 55.0 ppm. sp3 carbon signals appear, all sp3 carbon signals appear between the range of 0.0 to 55.0 ppm, whereas all sp carbon signals appear between the range of 65 to 90 ppm, all sp2 carbons except the carbon of carbonyl. So all sp2 carbons except the carbon belongs to the C double bond O group, that is a carbonyl group, signals appear between the range of 110 to 170 ppm. The range between 110 to 170 ppm. Are you following? Now, the carbon of carbonyl group, however it is sp2, hybridized, but its signal always appear nearly 200 ppm. Nearly 200 ppm due to inductive effect as well as mesomeric effect. Is it clear? Now, this is the range of C13 NMR spectroscopy. All sp3 carbons appear between 0.0 to 55.0 ppm. sp carbons always appear between 65 to 90 ppm. sp2 carbons except carbonyl appear between 110 to 170 ppm. Whereas carbonyl carbon, due to minus I effect of oxygen and mesomeric effect, it appear nearly 200 ppm. So always any signal appearing near to 200 ppm indicated it is a sp2 carbon of carbonyl carbon. Is it clear? So based on the delta values, we can predict the hybridization. Suppose we have a spectrum in the range up to 55 ppm. We have seen three signals indicated 3 sp3 carbons. In the range of 65 to 90, if there is a 2 signals indicated 2 sp carbons are there. In the range of 110 to 170, if there are 3 signals indicated 3 carbons are belongs to sp2 hybridized. Suppose if we have seen a signal near to 200 ppm indicated it is an sp2 of carbonyl carbon. So based on the delta value, we can able to identify hybridization also. For example, you take CH3, CH2, 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 Cl, 1-chlorobutane, carbon A, carbon B, carbon C, carbon D. Is it clear? Now, it's a spectrum. It's a C13 NMR spectrum. Contain carbon A signal as quartet, because it is CH3, B signal as a triplet, B signal as a triplet because it is CH2 carbon. C signal is also as a triplet. D signal is also as triplet. A carbon, B, C, D carbon. Now, you can see this is the C13 NMR spectrum of 1-butyl chloride, 1-chlorobutane. 1 signal, 2 signal, 3 signal, 4 signals, indicated 4 carbons. 4 carbons are present. Now, first carbon signal is quartet, multiplicity is quartet, indicated what? It is a CH3. It is a CH3 carbon. Second carbon, second signal, third signal, fourth signal, multiplicity is triplet. This is triplet, this is triplet, and this is also triplet. Indicated what? CH2 carbon. CH2 carbon, CH2 carbon, CH2 carbon. So there are 3 CH2 carbons. 3 CH2 carbons. How can we identify it? Based on the multiplicity. Triplet belongs to CH2 carbon. Quartet always belongs to CH3 carbon. So this is the molecule. A molecule consisting of 4 carbons obtained based on the number of carbons in the number of signals in the spectrum. 4 carbons. So based on the multiplicity, among the 4 carbon, 1 carbon belongs to CH3. The other 3 carbons belongs to CH2 group. Is it clear? Now, all the 4 signals are lying between 0.0 to 55.0 ppm. Are you following? So all the 4 carbon signals are appeared in between 0.0 to 55.0 ppm, so that all the 4 carbons belongs to sp3. How can we identify it? Based on the range of delta value of every carbon. So according to first information, number of signals are equal or related to number of carbons. Multiplicity is related to the number of hydrogen attached with each carbon. So in that way, CH3, CH2, CH and carbon without hydrogen can be identified. And the range under which the carbon signals are lying indicated hybridization of each and every carbon. So in this case, all carbon signals are appearing in between 0.0 to 55.0 ppm, so that all carbons belongs to sp3. So this is the third information. Now we will discuss another example. Let us discuss taking another example. CH3, CH2, C double bond O, CH, Br, Br, alpha alpha dibromobutanone. Carbon A, carbon B, carbon C, carbon D. So its spectrum contain, this is 0.0. Its spectrum contain carbon A signal as quartet, A carbon as quartet, B carbon as triplet, B carbon as triplet, C carbon as doublet, C carbon as doublet, D carbon as singlet. Is it clear? A is CH3, hence quartet, B is CH2, hence triplet, C is CH carbon, hence doublet, D carbon is carbon without hydrogen, hence singlet. Quartet, triplet, doublet, singlet. Now range. Now this is the C13 NMR spectrum for a molecule. Let us identify 1 signal, 2 signal, 3 signal, 4 signals, indicated 4 carbons. 4 carbons are there. Now, quartet indicated 1 carbon is CH3. 1 carbon is CH3. A triplet indicated 1 carbon is CH2. A doublet indicated 1 carbon is CH. A singlet indicated 1 carbon without hydrogen. So there are 4 carbons, 1 CH3, 1 CH2, 1 CH, 1 carbon without hydrogen. Is it clear? Now further, A signal, B signal, C signals lying in between 0.0 to 55.0 ppm. So 3 signals in the range of 0.0 to 55 indicated. Out of 4 carbon, 3 carbons belongs to sp3. 3 sp3 carbons. How we identified? Based on the range, delta value 0.0 to 55.0 ppm. There are 3 signals. So among the 4 carbon, 3 carbons maybe belongs to sp3 hybridized. Now coming to the 4th signal. 4th signal appearing nearly 200 ppm. Indicated what? The 4th carbon or this signal, the signal belonging to the carbon appearing at nearly 200 ppm indicated it is an sp2 carbon. Particularly it may be carbonyl carbon. So 200 ppm value, nearly 200 ppm value always related to a sp2 carbon of carbonyl. So 1 sp2 carbon, that is C double bond O. Is it clear? Now let us remind the information. 4 signals indicates 4 carbons. Quartet, triplet, doublet indicated CH3, CH2, CH. Singlet of last signal indicated carbon without hydrogen. Now 3 signal in the range of 0.0 to 55.0 ppm indicated there are 3 sp3 carbons. 1 signal near to 200 ppm indicated 1 sp2 carbon belonging to particularly carbonyl carbon. So in this way we can obtain the information. Let us study some other example. Now ethyl benzene. Ethyl benzene, pH CH2 CH3. Now CH3 carbon is A, CH2 carbon is B. These two orthocarbons are equivalent, hence C carbon, C carbon. These two are same, C carbon. Para carbon is D. Metacarbons are E. 2 metacarbons are same, E. This carbon is F carbon. F carbon. Carbon attached by ethyl group is F carbon. So CH3 is A carbon, CH2 is B carbon. 2 orthocarbons are same, therefore C and C. Para carbon is different, hence it is D. 2 metacarbons are same, hence these two are E. This is the carbon attached by ethyl group, belongs to F, different from all other, hence it belongs to F. So this is non-equivalency between carbons. Coming to the signals. The first carbon signal appear as quartet. A quartet, B triplet, B triplet. Now C carbon corresponds to CH carbon. So C carbon attached by 1 hydrogen, therefore appear as doublet, C doublet. C doublet. D carbon, again it is CH carbon, D doublet. D doublet. Now E carbon is also CH carbon, hence doublet. E doublet. Now F carbon has no hydrogen, hence singlet. F singlet 110 to 170 ppm. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There may be 6 carbons or equivalent sets of equivalent carbons. Now the 2 carbons, the first carbon is CH3, second carbon is CH2, third carbon C carbon, D carbon, E carbon belongs to CH carbon because there are 3 doublets. 3 CH carbons are there. F carbon appearing as a singlet, so it is a carbon without hydrogen. Now AB signals are lying in between 0.0 to 55.0 ppm, so that there are 2 sp3 carbons. 2 carbons belongs to sp3. Now the remaining carbon signals are lying between 110 to 170 ppm, indicated these carbons are belongs to sp2. These carbons are belongs to sp2 carbons. Is it clear? So this is about the information obtained from the C13 NMR spectroscopy. Now coming to in every time we are discussing about similar to proton. Let us compare. Comparison between carbon and proton NMR spectroscopy. Comparison between CMR and proton NMR, PMR. Comparison between CMR and PMR. Now, number 1. All the proton signals appear at upfield value when compared with the carbon NMR signals. That is, the proton signals are appeared in between 0.0 to 10.0 ppm, sometimes more than 10.0 ppm. Proton signals appear between 0.0 to 10.0 ppm. In some rare cases, its value may be more than 10 ppm. For say for example carboxylic acid proton, enolic proton, carboxylic acid proton 11.4, enolic proton sometimes 16.0, etc. Now this is the range of proton. Now the carbon signals, whereas the carbon signals are appear between 0.0 to 200 ppm. Just now we have discussed sp3 0.0 to 55, sp hybridized 65 to 90, and sp2 hybridized 110 to 170, a carbonyl carbon 200 ppm. So the proton signals are appearing 0.0 to 10.0 ppm, whereas carbon signals are appearing 0.0 to 200 ppm. Therefore, the proton signals always appear at upfield value. This is upfield. Why it is upfield? As we know, the delta value is inversely proportional to absorption frequency. When the delta value is low, absorption frequency is more. When absorption frequency is more, the signals may be regarded as upfield signals or upfield values. Now, a carbon signals are lying up to 200 ppm. Where the delta value is high, the absorption frequency become low. So that these signals are downfield signals. Is it clear? So, always the proton signals are appearing at upfield value when compared with the carbon signals. Is it clear? Now, coming to second comparison. Recording of proton NMR spectrum is easy when compared with C13. That is, C13 spectrum recording is highly difficult due to low gamma value and low natural abundancy. Natural abundancy is 99.9% for proton. Natural abundancy for carbon is only 1.11%. Together with gamma value of proton is high, gamma value of carbon is low. So these two values, low gamma value, low natural abundancy, make a carbon as low sensitive. Therefore, its recording is highly difficult when compared with the proton. So proton can be easily recorded, whereas recording of C13 NMR spectrum become highly difficult. Now, this is another comparison. Now, third comparison, coming to the sensitivity. The sensitivity of proton signal is high. The proton signal is high, whereas carbon signal sensitivity is low. Carbon signal sensitivity is low. Now, again, high gamma value for a proton make it as a high sensitive, so that the proton signals are appearing as a sharp and intense. Are you following? So the third comparison is sensitivity of proton nuclei towards NMR is high, whereas sensitivity of carbon nuclei towards NMR is low due to low gamma value and low natural abundancy. Together, the low gamma value, low natural abundancy make a carbon nuclei low sensitive or less sensitive towards NMR. Is it clear? What happened? Let us discuss what happens. Because of high sensitivity of proton, its signal in the spectrum appear with high intensity, sharp and intensity. The signals from the proton are appearing as a sharp and intense, whereas the signal, because of its low sensitivity, the signal from carbons are appearing with low intense, not sharp one. For example, you take CH3CH2Cl, ethyl chloride, A proton and B proton. There are two signals in the proton NMRs. Let us discuss proton NMR for ethyl chloride. A CH3 signal and a CH2 signals are appearing like this, A and B. A sharp and intense signals are appearing from proton nuclei. Is it clear? For the same molecule, it's a carbon NMR spectrum. Carbon 1, carbon 2. You can observe A carbon, B carbon. Now, let us find out the differences. Two sets of protons are there, two signals appear. Two non-equivalent carbons are there, two signals appear. Now, what are the differences? Now, in the proton, the signal corresponding to each set of proton appearing as a sharp and intense. A sharp signal and intense signal. Whereas a carbon signals are appearing with low sensitivity, low intense. A small lines are appeared instead of a peak. Is it clear? Now this is due to low sensitivity. Low sensitivity. This is all due to low sensitivity. Let us, what are the difficulty arised because of its low sensitivity? Now, a proton signals are appearing as a sharp and intense. Therefore, the integration of signal become easy. We can easily integrate each proton signal for counting the number of hydrogen present in each signal. So measurement of signal height. So with the proton signal, because of its sharp and intensity, the integration of proton signal is easy, and we can easily find out the number of equivalent protons in each signal by the process of integration. So on integration, the first signal indicated there are 3 protons. By the process of integration, we can find out the 3 hydrogens. 3 equivalent hydrogens are existed in the first signal. By the integration of second signal, it indicates there are 2 protons. 2 equivalent protons may exist in the second signal. So due to high sensitivity of proton, its signals are appearing as sharp and intense. With that, the integration of a signal become very easy in order to identify number of equivalent protons present in each set. Now coming to carbon, where the carbon sensitivity towards NMR is very low due to 2 reasons: low natural abundancy, low gyromagnetic ratio value, gamma value. So that low sensitivity, a small lines, less sensitive signals are appear from each and every carbon. So that because of low sensitivity, integration of carbon signal become not possible. When the signal is high intense, sharp and intense, integration become very easy, where the integration process we learned in the first semester. Integration is the process of measurement of height of every signal in order to calculate the number of equivalent protons present in each signal, which is possible if the signal is sharp and intense. Where the carbon signal is low intense, low sensitivity and low intense signals are appearing, where the integration is not possible. We are unable to integrate the carbon signal. So integration become not possible with carbon signal because of low sensitivity. Therefore, it is not possible to calculate how many equivalent carbons present in each signal. When we are unable to integrate the signal because of its low sensitivity, it is not possible to identify number of equivalent carbons present in each signal. Is it clear? Example, for easy to understand, I am going to take isopropyl chloride. Isopropyl chloride. Proton A, proton A, same sets of proton. This is proton B. Its NMR, its proton NMR spectrum contains 2 signals. This is proton NMR spectrum, A signal, B signal. By the process of integration, we can count 6 hydrogen in the A signal. We can count 1 proton in the B signal. This is the situation for proton. For the same molecule, if we consider the carbon signals, these 2 carbons are equivalent. Carbon 1, this is carbon 2, second carbon. Its C13 NMR spectrum has 2 signals. One signal for A, second signal for B. First carbon, second carbon. You can observe the difference. Where here integration is possible to count the number of hydrogens, whereas the C13, this is CMR, 13C NMR. This is proton NMR. Proton NMR. Now in the second spectrum, carbon NMR spectrum, first carbon signal, second carbon signal, 2 carbon signals are appeared. Now integration is not possible. Integration is not possible, so that we cannot count number of equivalent carbons present in a first set. that is set 1. However, there are two equivalent carbons. We cannot find out there are two carbons. Are you following? However, two equivalent carbons are there in a molecule. In the first signal, we cannot count we cannot find out there are two carbons in the first signal because we are unable to integrate the first signal. Are you following? So this is the difficulty arises. Is it clear? Now, further, if any set contain more than one equivalent carbons, if any set contain, just you remember, we cannot integrate the carbon signal, we cannot count the number of equivalent carbons. But if any set contain more than one equivalent carbons, its signal appear as a dark line instead of normal. A set contain, if more than one equivalent carbon, its signal appear as a dark line instead of normal. A dark line, a signal with a dark line indicated there are more than one equivalent carbons. Still, we cannot say 2 carbons or 4 carbons or 6 carbons or n number of carbons. Just dark line indicated a set with more than one equivalent carbon. It may be 2 or it may be 6 or it may be n number. For example, you take nitrobenzene. C13 spectrum for nitrobenzene. Now, meta carbons are 1. These two carbons are equivalent. It is electron withdrawing group, so that ortho and para carbons are appear at a downfield value, where the withdrawing effect is almost 0 on meta carbon, so appear at upfield value when compared with ortho and meta. So that carbon 1, two meta carbons are equivalent, so it belongs to group 1. Now, this is second, para carbon is second, two ortho carbons are similar and belongs to third group, group 3. And this is the carbon where it is directly linked with NO2 group, it belongs to fourth one. So there are 4 sets of carbons. 2 meta carbons belongs to one set, 1 para carbon belongs to another, 2 ortho carbons belongs to the other third set, and this is the directly linked carbon belongs to another non-equivalent, that is fourth set. Now you can see. Now first set of carbons, in the first set there are 2 equivalent carbons. Just now we studied that if any set contain more than one equivalent carbon, its signal is appear as a dark. So 2 carbons, equivalent set contain more than one carbon, so there are 2 equivalent carbon. So first set of carbon signal appear as dark. First set of carbon signal appear as dark. Now in the second set there is only one carbon, it appear as normal. Second carbon signal appear as normal. The third set of carbons has 2 equivalents, therefore appear as dark. The fourth carbon has only one carbon, appear as normal. This is third, this is fourth. Are you following? So this is C13 NMR spectrum for nitrobenzene. What it indicated? The first carbon, we are unable to see the structure of molecule, we have only spectrum. Now it indicated the first signal and third signals are dark. First and third signals are dark, indicated the first signal and third signal belongs to a carbon consisting of more than, belongs to a group consisting of more than one equivalent carbon. These two are sets. There are two sets of equivalent carbons. Now the second signal and fourth signal appearing as a normal line indicated these are the two carbons, not a group, two carbons. This is one carbon, this is another carbon. So in brief, the molecule contain, this spectrum indicated the molecule contain two carbons with two sets of carbons. You remember, still we are unable to predict. The first set contain two carbon, the third set contain two carbons, because we are unable to integrate it. Just we can say it is a set. Set means it may be 2 carbon, it may be 3 carbon, it may be n number of carbons. Is it clear? So a two sets with 2 carbons, but still we are unable to identify. There are 6 carbons. According to the structure, there are 6 carbons, but based on the low sensitivity signal, integration is not possible because we are unable to predict there are 6 carbons. Is it clear? For example, you take benzene, a simple benzene. A simple benzene. All carbons are equivalent. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. All the carbons are equivalent, so that only one signal appear. As a dark. Why dark appeared? Because it consisting of more than one equivalent carbons, so that the signal, all carbons are equivalent, one signal is appeared as a dark line. Is it clear? Now you can see a spectrum of benzene indicated. It consisting of, this spectrum indicated the molecule consisting of one set of equivalent carbons. How can we say it is a set? Based on dark line. If it is normal, it indicated only one carbon. Now here it is a dark line. Dark line indicated what? A set of carbons. We can say only a set of carbon, but not 6, because the integration is not possible. Still, however it is dark, integration is not possible. So we can say simply a molecule with a set of carbons, but not 6 carbons. Whereas if you take the same benzene, you record its proton NMR spectrum, where all the protons are equivalent, you will find one sharp and intense signal. So one signal indicated equivalent protons may be present. Its integration is possible. We can say 6 hydrogens. For the same molecule, its C13 NMR spectrum also indicated one set of carbons, but unable to predict number of carbons. Is it clear? In brief, if any set contain more than one carbon, its signal appear as a dark line. So dark line indicated set, but not the number of carbons. So this is about comparison between PMR and CMR. Remember, all the proton signals are, in brief, all the proton signals are appear at downfield value when compared with the carbon signal. The proton signal range is 0.0 to 10.0 ppm, whereas carbon signal range is 0.0 to 200 ppm. This is the first comparison. Second comparison, natural abundancy of proton is nearly 100, whereas natural abundancy of carbon is only 1.11%. Gamma value of proton is high, gamma value of carbon is very low. These two factors make a carbon nuclei as low sensitive towards NMR. Therefore, low sensitive signals are appeared in the carbon NMR spectrum for every carbon in the molecule. whereas proton signals are appear as high and intense signal, that is in sharp and intense signal, so that integration become easy, whereas carbon signal integration is not possible. With that, it is not possible to predict the number of carbons present in each signal. However, if there are more than one equivalent carbons are present in a set, that set signal, the carbon signal is appear as a dark. So dark line indicated a set, normal line indicated a carbon. We can predict as a set but not as number of carbons in the set. So this is about comparison between proton NMR and C13 NMR. The remaining part of the spectrum is similar or same. Information is the same, that is regarding the skeleton of the carbon from proton as well as from carbon, where the proton skeleton, in the proton NMR, the skeleton can be identified based on the study of number and nature of the proton, that is indirect method. In the carbon, the skeleton can be identified directly by the study of nature and number of carbon instead of proton. Nowhere we are studying a proton signal. So this is about comparative part of PMR and CMR. So with this lecture I conclude the lecture 1. This is about introductory part of C13 NMR spectroscopy. In the next lecture we will discuss about types of C13 NMR spectroscopy and their applications to identify the structural properties of an unknown molecules. So with this I complete today's lecture. Thank you very much.